So welcome to winter. Looking out the window here, it's so frosty, and although it's starting to thaw a little bit, but earlier today it was just like white with hoarfrost. It was amazing. And so we're really going to be working into the spine in lovely fluid and warming ways today. And let's just start by rubbing into the palms of the hands, rubbing into the sides of the hands, the backs of the hands, just making sure that all of the hands feel lovely and energized, even if they're a little bit chilly. We're just going to start our practice by rubbing into the kidneys and deepening the breath. So the kidneys are here, just, you know, you've got your rib cage coming down here in the waistline, and just tucked up at the bottom of these ribs here, you've got one either side. In fact, I don't know why I'm turning back around. Got one on this side, here are your kidneys. So you can start to rub them. It could be with the backs of the hands, feels more comfortable in the shoulders. Could be you make these little cinnamon whirls with the fingers and thumb, whatever feels good. Making sure the feet are comfortably hip width, that you're not locking out your knees. If anything, you're going to allow that rubbing to permeate throughout the whole of the spine, throughout the joints in the knees, the hips, so you start to bob up and down a little bit and just feel the whole body start to wake up. And we'll twin this with deepening the breath. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, and you can breathe right down into where your hands are rubbing, into the lower back, into the kidneys. Remembering as well, you know, you can start to rub into the sacrum. If you're feeling a little bit stiff there, that's also a very nice place to rub. And we've got this point here, just one vertebra below the waist, which is the gate of vitality, Ming Men. So you can rub all around there, you know, especially if you're feeling a little bit stiff, a little bit achy. Good. So let's breathe right down into the lower back, into the belly, into the ribs, and then nice long exhale. And again, if it's been particularly stressful this morning, you can imagine that you're blowing out a candle. So you can with an open mouth, or breathe out through the nose, gently tensing the throat so you start to hear your breath. Ujjayi breath, you choose. So nice big breath in. Nice long exhale. Good. And again, big breath in. And then exhaling. So this time, see if you can lengthen the breath. Breathe all the way up into the ribs, underneath the collarbones, in and around the shoulder blades, into your armpits. Breathe as much air comfortably in. And then a nice long exhale. So the next time you breathe in, we're going to peel the heels up and stop rubbing. So peel the heels up as you breathe in, and then bring those heels down and start to rub as you breathe out. So let's do one of those together. Stop, breathe in, peel the heels up. Drop those heels down, exhale. Good, one more. Lovely. And then from here, just release the hands and start to turn at the waist. So really inviting the arms to be super floppy. So you're turning at the waist, and because the arms are nice and relaxed, the arms start to turn. And then you can just tap into the kidneys with the back of the hands. You can gently tap into the sides of the ribs, sides of the waist. Remembering we have a point just at the edge of the waist, at the end of that 12th rib, that is the bow point for the kidneys. So when we get overstimulated, kind of too much adrenal activity, exhausted through that, burning the candles at both, I can't say burning the candle at both ends. You need to put the S at the right bit, wouldn't it? Anything like that, where you feel utterly depleted, it can be really helpful to work into this point. You think, oh, how do I know if I'm really run down, you know, my kidney energy? What's that mean, Luce? Basically, if you find this point at the edge of the ribs here and rub in, might feel a little tender, a little bit kind of like, ooh, you know, and that's a point that you can use to work with that kidney energy. Lovely. So just a few more of these, just to free up the shoulders. Oh. And then we're just going to bring those feet together and warm up the ankles and the knees. So just 4 circles one way. Change direction, 4 circles the other way. And then repeat again. So we'll do a total of 8 circles for each direction, but we split it in half. You can do 8 in continuous. That's also very good. It's just nice to have a little bit of variety. Lovely. And then coming up to standing, again, those feet back, hip shoulder width apart, toes pointing ahead, soft in the knees, and just circle the hips. 4 slow circles one way and then back the other way. And I'll just take off my cozy scarf and we'll do the shoulders. So you can just roll through the shoulders 4 times and then change direction back the other way. And then last week we did this Egoscue kind of method for bringing balance to the body, and we're going to do the same again. So you tuck in the fingers as if you're doing the thumbs up, but then roll the fingers out so you can see your palm, and then take those to just behind your temple, and then close the elbows. And again, it depends, you know, what's happening here as to how easy that's going to be. So adjust the hands so you can feel that's quite comfortable. And we're just going to open and close the arms, say 20 times, just steadily. And you might continue to lengthen and deepen the breath. So breathing in maybe for a couple of these and breathing out for a couple of these. Or even 3 or 4, whatever feels a good pace. Okay, so I would say a couple more is going to be about 20. And then bring the hands down and just notice how you feel in your feet. So it's all about having that wonderful core stability, or that, excuse me, that sense of balance between both sides. So as we then move through the spine, we're moving equally. So let's just come into scooping the water. We're going to step that right leg back, left leg forward. And then as we inhale, bring the weight into the left leg so the back heel lifts. Rock back. So now we can lift those front toes and just tuck the head in, roll down through the spine on the exhale. Inhale, scooping up. Exhale, rolling down. And so this is really about balancing out both the bladder and kidney channels. The bladder channel runs down the back of the body. We focus on that on the exhale. And the kidney channel runs up the inside of the thighs, up a narrow channel either side of the tummy button. And then when it comes to the breastbone, it kind of spreads out to the edges of the breastbone, finishing up underneath those collarbones. So you can lengthen the breath out to really engage that awareness of the bladder energy channel, and then you can lengthen the breath in. So doing it really slowly to build energy. And we've got these fear release points. Remember, we've got that transport mansion, it's called, kidney 27, just underneath the inner corners, that's a corner, inner knobble of your collarbones. So spending time just to really open up into that part of the chest can be really beneficial if it's just been a bit overwhelming recently. So one more this side, coming all the way up. And then we're just simply going to change legs. All the way down the leg on the exhale. Inhale all the way up. Rolling down the spine and then opening up the front of the body. Inhale, scooping up. Exhale. So on the exhale, it's as if we're bathing ourselves in that wonderful warm water. It's like the amniotic fluid of life. In a metaphorical way, I can say, rather than the actual way, because that would be particularly sticky. But you know what I mean. Do one more this side. Good. And then coming all the way up. And we're just going to come straight into the moon, retrieving the moon from the sea. So we want the feet to be a little bit wider than shoulder width. And then as we exhale, really fire up the core with the legs straight, but not blocking the knees out. Reach forward, so it's strengthening the back. And all the way down, soften those knees, reach through between the legs as if someone's got hold of your wrists. And then as you inhale, you unfurl vertebra by vertebra, placing the moon back above the head, popping the hands on the lower back. Exhale, gently tuck the tail, lean onto those hands, opening into the front, tongue on the roof of the mouth. And then exhale, come back to standing. Sorry, inhale, come back to standing, placing the moon back up. So let's do 4 of these, or how many are we going to do these? We're going to do 8 in total, so 7 more. Inhale, towards the end of the inhale, pop the hands on the lower back. Exhale, lean into the hands. And then inhale and exhale. Inhale, coming all the way up. Nice and strong in the core. Exhale, opening into the front of the body. Inhale and exhale. All the way up as you breathe in. Exhale, opening into the front of the body. So we're really working with the front fabric of the body on that exhale. And then on this following exhale, into the back line of the body. So coming all the way up. Just a couple more. This is a fantastic one for strengthening the back. Again, really useful for balancing kidney and bladder energy because we're working both with the front of the body and also with the back of the body. Coming all the way down. All the way back up. Florence, can you go downstairs, please? It's time for breakfast. I'll get you breakfast. I know you're right there. Everyone knows you're right there. Good. And then finishing off. Hey, don't pull my leg. Right, you can stand here and join in. Okay, so the next one we're going to do with Florence is called plucking a star and placing it in the Big Dipper. So again, just bring those feet back to comfortably shoulder width. You're going to take your right hand and place it on Ming Men, remembering that's one vertebra down from the narrowest part of your waist. Inhale, taking the hand up. And then we're just going to cross over to that right side, turning at the waist. So it's not the hand that's moving, it's the trunk that's moving. And then as you inhale, come all the way up. So we're spiraling from across the body, coming up, turning at that waist so the body's moving the arm, plucking the star. And then as you exhale, transferring the star to place it in the Big Dipper. And then inhale, come back to face forwards, and then just bring the energy, as if we've plucked that energy right from the cosmos, and we're bringing it right down into the body. And then we're going to change sides. Inhale. Exhale, crossing over to this left side. Inhale, coming up. Florence, don't do that. Don't do that. Excuse me, guys. Out. I am busy. I'm working. You go down and get your breakfast, love, okay? Go on. Sorry, we'll just resume that. Right. So coming across and then inhale. Coming all the way, plucking that star. And then on the exhale, so when you pluck the star, be aware of the kidney on that right side. And then as you exhale, transfer the energy to the kidney on the left side. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't have a kidney there, energetically send it there. And then bring the energy from the heavens and draw it into the body. Inhale, change sides. Exhale. Inhale. Pluck the star. Bringing the awareness into that left kidney now, transferring that energy into the right, placing the star in the constellation. Inhale, facing forwards, drawing the energy into the body. Inhale, change sides. Exhale. Inhale, turning from the waist. Pluck the star. Exhale. Pop it into the other side. Inhale, back to face forwards and down. Other side. Inhale, coming to pluck the star, turning at the waist. Transferring the energy into the other side, other kidney. Inhale and down. So we'll make this, this one the last side. Exhale, reaching over with the right. Inhale, coming all the way across. It's a wonderful pluck the star, wonderful practice, really working with the connective tissue in the body. Exhale, placing the star in the Great Dipper, coming back to face forwards. Exhale. So scooping up the energy from that and balancing it all the way along through the central nervous system. We'll do that again.
And so that finishes our Qigong with Florence for this morning. So you can finish by just stepping the feet together, making a fist with the right hand, wrapping it with that wonderful, this is yang, wrapping it with the silk of yin, and bowing to all of the masters and teachers that have helped us practice this today. Take on some water if you've got some to hand, and then we're just going to flow into a more yogic way of being. What I'm going to do is, we will need at some point, you'll need some props. So I've got myself here a bolster, a cushion, you could have a folded blanket as well, or blocks, something like that, because we're going to need the blocks potentially and the bolster and stuff. We're going to come into pigeon. It's always good to have padding when you're in pigeon. Coming into hurdler stretch and moon, kind of that moon flow. So it's good to have your blocks for hurdlers if getting down and hands on the mat is too tricky. Lovely. So let's just come to the front of the mat, feet together, samasthiti, or a little bit apart, whatever feels more comfortable for you. We're just going to switch on those feet. So lift and spread the toes. Then what I'd like you to do actually, I'm going to add something in. I'm thinking, oh, let's not go jump into that. Step the feet hip width, lift the toes, and see if you can walk back with the toes lifted to the back edge of the mat. And then lift the heels and see if you can walk forward. And then pop the heels down, lift the toes, see if you can walk on the heels, ooh, to the back of the mat. And then lift the heels and see if you can walk forward. Great. Choose one leg, rest on the top of the foot, stretch out the ankle, roll through the toes, forward and back. And then change sides. So just feel the other leg, rest on the opposite foot, stretching out the front, and then roll through the toes, forward and back. Okay, now let's come into some sun salutations. So feet into a comfortable, balanced position. Soles of the feet nice and alert, starting to draw the energy up into the lower legs, up through the kneecaps, up into the thighs, so the thigh muscles hug around those bones. And then just engaging bandha, drawing up with the center of the pelvic floor, drawing back with the lower abdominal muscles, but feeling that we're lifting energy up through the navel, into the heart, from the heart through the throat, along the neck, into the crown of the head. So we're aware of all of those wonderful energy centers, those nexus of nerves and chakras, depending on what you're kind of interested in, and feeling really lovely and awake and aware, present. And with that, taking a nice breath in, gaze up to the thumbs, exhale, forward fold. And we're just going to do a beautiful flowing forward fold. So bringing the hands down, it could be onto the shins, could be onto the mat. And then as you inhale, coming into a nice half lift. So first one might be hands on shins, lifting those sit bones, looking ahead, making a nice L shape with the back, navel hugging up towards the spine. And then exhale, melting down, soften those knees, really melt the spine down towards the mat. And then we'll do that again. Nice inhale, half lift. Exhale, melt down. Bring the weight into the feet and slowly unfurl, vertebra by vertebra, no rush. Head's the last thing to come up, taking the hands up, little back bend. Bring the hips forward, gently tuck the tail a smidge, open through the chest. And then exhale, bringing the hands back down. So we'll do another one of those. Nice inhale, breathing in. Feeling that stretch through the front of the body and then peeling down, feeling the stretch in the back line of the body. Nice half lift. Exhale, melt down. Another half lift. Exhale, bring the weight into the feet as you melt down, and from there unfurl, strengthen the core. The navel is unthreading you, coming all the way up, little back bend, and then exhale, bringing the hands in front of the heart. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Half lift. Exhale, melt down. Next half lift. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, unfurl. Nice and steady as they go, coming all the way up. And exhale, coming back. So now let's just come down onto the mat. Nice big stretch on the inhale. Gaze up to the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, peeling down through the spine. Fluid and flow like water. Inhale, nice half lift. Stepping back into plank. Pop the knees down if you need, but just see if you can hold plank for a couple of breaths. Shoulder blades down the back, little tuck of those elbows in behind the wrists. Really tucking the tail and lifting up, firing up into the navel. So we're really engaging our core, feeling the fire in the belly start to really burn and get us nice and cozy. Good. Pop the knees down, lower the hips into a gentle up dog on the inhale. And then exhale, hinge back, keeping those knees and feet hip width back into child's pose. And so peeling up through the spine into up dog as you breathe in, and then exhale, peeling back into child's pose. So just doing a few of these lovely easing moon flows, coming forward and back, breathing in, breathing out. Closing the eyes, just really inviting the body to move in a fluid, a delicious way. And then the next time you're in upward dog, just hinge back into all fours, tuck the toes, and coming into downward dog. So just start off, feet hip width apart, gaze to the toes, roll those heels up, bend one knee on the exhale, you stretch the other heel down, roll the heels both up as you breathe in, and then change legs. So just with that, just moving through the backs of the legs, nice and slowly with the breath. Making sure the shoulders are down the back, you're gently tucking those elbows in behind the wrists, and you're soft in the shoulders, but strong in bandha. Good. And then both heels down on the next exhale, both heels up, both heels down. Stepping those feet together into dancing warrior. So we're looking to the toes and then taking that right leg and just stretching it up, flexing the foot, bending the knee, piddling up an imaginary lamppost. Then roll the knee into the chest and out to the side and round a few times, just oiling that hip. Step the right foot forward to where the right hand is. Now, again, if you're getting a bit stuck there, I'll just demonstrate it. What can happen is, you really need to use the supporting leg to give you a bit of lift. So have a little practice, take that right leg back, really bounce on that left knee a little bit, use that as a wee pump to create a bit of space to step that right foot forward. And then wiggle the back foot away, pop the knee back down. Again, if you need padding for that back knee, have it handy. And then bring both hands up onto that front right knee and allow the hips to come forward and down. But again, really strong in bandha. So we feel that we're not hanging and kind of untucking the tail. It's like we're really drawing the navel back in into the spine, and the spine feels nice and long. Good. So next inhale, taking the hands up. Making sure that front knee isn't going beyond the ankle, wants to have this lovely right angle towards the mat. And then as you exhale, this is where you may need your block or blocks. So you can have a block to the inside of that front foot as you peel the toes back towards the shin, navel hugging back, and draw the forehead, the crown of the head towards those toes. Okay, so you may not need that. And then just exhale as you move back into that knee bend. Inhale, extending the arms up. Exhale, popping the hands down, could be onto the block, could be the side of the leg. Crown of the head to the toes. And then next inhale, nice open chested, working into thinking about the kidney meridian coming all the way up the front of the body, finishing underneath those collarbones. Good. Exhale, hinging back. Inhale, stretching. And then from here, just peel the front of that foot down. So the right foot is peeling down. We're just staying in hurdler stretch now and stretching through the front of the foot. And then just simply bringing the knee forward, hands either side of the foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, slide and stretch that right leg up, point it up towards the ceiling, pop the foot down, straight into the other side. Left leg comes up, bend the knee, flex the foot, roll the knee into the chest, out to the side and round a few times. Stirring that pot of soup, as it were, with your foot, and then bring the left foot to where the left hand is. So again, have a little practice. Didn't really, if there wasn't enough space, you need to really use that back leg, and you can move, have a little bit of fluidity with this front arm, create a bit of space for this leg to come into, and then wiggle the back foot away, pop the knee down and bring yourself up. Good, well done. So from here, inhale, arms up. Feeling that stretch all the way through the hip, through the front of the body. Exhale, hinging back into hurdlers. As you inhale, coming into the stretch in hurdlers. Toes drawing in towards the crown of the head. Exhale, bending the knee, sliding the hips forward. Inhale, coming into moon posture. So this is crescent moon. And then exhale into hurdlers, stretching into the back of the leg, into the back of the body. Good. Coming up on the inhale, into moon posture. And then last one, coming back into hurdlers. And then peeling the toes towards the mat, getting a good stretch into the front of the foot. Ujjayi breath or blow out, as if you're blowing out that candle, whichever feels better for you. And then from here, just sliding forward, you can tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, slide that left leg back, give it a good stretch up towards the sky, and then coming back, knees down, lower the hips into a nice easy up dog, and then exhale, coming back into child's pose, and just ease that out with a little bit more moon flow. Noticing when you come forward, see if you can stay on the tops of the legs rather than letting the feet or the legs roll onto the outer edges when you're in upward dog. Keep on the tops of the feet. Good, and then from here, just coming straight back up into dancing warrior, downward dog. So again, you're going to need some blocks handy. Just check, make sure you've got them handy. Then coming into dancing warrior, downward dog. Take the right leg up, bend the knee, flex the foot, piddle up that imaginary lamp post, roll the knee into the chest, out to the side and round, just once. Then step it forward, bring that back knee down. And again, here you may need your blocks. Have them handy just by you at the top of the mat. So option A is to have the hand on the thigh, and you can just turn at the waist from here, okay? Option B, to use a little bit to bring the floor up, so you can have your hands down on a block or blocks and work from here. Or option C, no blocks, deeper stretch in the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, with this right knee kind of nestled up. I'll show you, I'll just turn around a little bit so you can see. So essentially, you've got this nice relationship here, okay? So you want to make sure that that right foot's just wiggled out just a smidgen, so the hands are underneath the shoulders on both sides. So let's start with the left hand, opening up, elbow, wrist, palm, and then exhale, popping it down on the mat. Other side, inhale. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale. Elbow, wrist, palm, moving fluidly and fluently through each of the joints in turn. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, popping it down. We're going to do one more together, okay? Nice and slow, nice and mindfully. Exhale. That's it. Inhale, opening up. Great. And then just coming into lizard. So essentially, you're just going to allow yourself to lower down even more, just to get a deeper stretch into the hips and to relax as best we can this opposite front hip. So again, you may feel that the blocks are handy. You can have 2 blocks on the long edge and rest your forearms on them. If that's not if you don't have blocks to hand, then you can simply bend the elbows towards the mat and breathe. You know, if you have blocks to hand, another option might be to support the forehead, the front of the forehead onto a block, just to take the weight of the heavy head out of the equation. Check that that front knee is above the ankle. So you're just melting the hips down, navel hugging back towards the spine though. Don't hang on the lower back, really support yourself from within. Nice long breath in, nice long breath out. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into a little twist. So I'll just turn to kind of face you 3/4 so you get a sense of what's going on. So option 1 is simply to allow that right foot to roll onto the outer edge. You can pop the hand up on the leg, navel hugging back, looking round. Okay? So this is option 1. Option 2 may be with a little bit of height underneath the forearm. You're going to bring the forearm parallel to the short edge of the mat. And again, turn round. Option 3 is without a block. You've got the forearm, parallel to the short edge of your mat. You're rolling onto the outer edge of that right foot. The navel's hugging back and round. And then from here, you can rub into that point, the kidney point, with the right hand in the sole of the foot, if you're round the foot like so. Or you can press the inner thigh open to get a bit of a deeper stretch in that hip, whatever feels good for you. Or you could even work into the heavenly pillar point here at the base of the skull where the muscle meets in on that right side. So choosing if you're working into heavenly pillar, into babbling brook in the sole of the foot, what feels good, breathing here. Taking the breath all the way into the kidneys and then relaxing, softening, becoming heavier on the exhale. And then from here, just easing out of that. So bringing the hand back to the inside of that front foot, tucking the back toe, lifting the back knee, slide and stretch that right leg. Give it a good old stretch. And then pop it down. And we're just going to do the same on the other side. Left leg comes up, bend the knee, flex the foot, roll the knee into the chest, out to the side and round. Just a couple of slow hip oilers. Use that right leg. Use softness in the arms, strength in bandha to really help that left leg come forward. Okay, then pop the back knee down and bring the hands to the inside of that front foot. Now again, if on the mat feels too much, you can use blocks or you can just operate from waist height with the hands on the thighs. Okay, so inhaling, taking the right hand up, elbow, wrist, palm. Exhale, popping it down on the mat. Other side, inhale. Lovely, beautiful, exhale. So notice when you come up, have a little look along the length of the arm, check that the hand is in line with the wrist, you're not pressing forward with the heel of the hand. Exhale, bring it down, and especially on this left side, elbow, wrist, palm, nice straight arm, look at the hand, check it's not kind of pressed up like this. Okay, exhale, bring it down. Last one, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, just coming into lizard, whatever form that takes on this side. Now, it isn't necessarily so that what is comfortable on the other side is going to be as comfortable on this side or vice versa. So just tune into what feels good. You know, it may be that you can bring the outer forearm down or both forearms down, you know, without any blocks at all, depending on how you're flexible in the hips today. Just keep welcoming the breath all the way in. And just relaxing and releasing any tension so the body becomes heavier on the exhale, just really sinking into the mat. But the one thing we want to keep active, not only our mind, our awareness, tuning in and noticing, is our bandhas. So again, we've got that support of our core, and this helps build heat as well in the body. So it's really nice warming activity, breathing into the kidneys. So we're just going to come into that twist now. Allow the left foot to roll onto the outer edge. If you're down there already, you may simply just press into the inner edge of the thigh just to deepen that stretch. Or you're thinking, well, that feels okay. I'm going to work into the babbling brook point, or just work into the heavenly pillar at the base of the skull. So you rub along the base of the skull till you find that muscle and press in here. just for a couple of breaths, and then release. So from here, just easing back, popping the hands back under the shoulders, tucking that back toe, lifting the back knee, slide and stretch the left leg back, and then popping the feet down, back into a little plank. So let's just hold plank for a couple of breaths, really drawing up with the center line of the body. Make sure as best as you can, you're not locking out these front arms. You want to be using your triceps rather than using your bones. Really hugging in towards the core. And then just try a little bit of reverse breathing. So really, as you breathe in, hug the navel in, breathe into your kidneys. And then exhale, draw into that center line, pop the knees down, nice easy upward dog, hinging back into child's pose. Again, you can tuck the toes if you want to mix it up a little bit. In child's pose, rest on the top of the feet in upward dog. Whatever feels good, just moving through the spine, flushing the energy that we've built up in those postures, the energy that we've freed up, just allowing that to flow through the body. And then from here, we're going to come into pigeon. So this can be where it's really nice to have a cushion and a block handy, or a folded blanket and a block handy. So last downward dog dancing warrior, you'll be glad to know for the class. So coming back up, feet together, looking towards the toes, starting with the right side, extending and pointing the right toe as far up as you can, as if you're pointing to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then from here, bend the knee, flex the foot, piddle up an imaginary lamppost. And then from here, we're going to bring that right knee towards the right wrist, bring that back knee down. You'll notice that this shin here is at a diagonal. Now, it may be, depending on what's happening in the hip, that the foot is able to go closer towards that left hand. But again, it wants to feel comfortable, not that you're twisting the knee at all, okay? So it's not a knee twist, this posture at all. It's coming from the hip. So once you've landed that back knee down, you'll notice you're quite forward. So we're just going to lift the back knee, wiggle the back foot away. You can come back with the hands, walk your hips back enough that you can come upright, you know, and the hands are under your shoulders and you feel evenly balanced, front facing and rear facing. Good. So from here, we're just going to come down, just going to get my swishy top out the way, come down onto my forearms and just have a little look and check my hips are balanced, that I'm not leaning into that right hip or rolling onto this left hip. It wants to feel evenly balanced between the two. And then once I've got myself aligned, I can come back up, pop my cushion underneath this left hip or my blanket, and then come back into that position that I know I was evenly balanced in. So you want to kind of record the experience of that posture rather than what it looks like. It's what it feels like in the hips. Then you can come back with that padding there now and just relax down. So a couple of options. If going down and bringing the forehead down onto the mat is too intense, don't worry, you can use a block, or if you don't have a block, you can use your hands. So option one with the block is just to rest the forehead on the tilted edge of a block, so it feels really comfortable and you can just relax the weight of the head into the block. Option two is to have the head just resting in the heels of the hands, elbows on the mat. So again, doing exactly the same as the block, perhaps even more comfortable because your hands are softer and can shape more easily to the shape of your head. If you want to go lower, you can just pop the head down, and again, it might be onto your hands or straight onto the mat, whatever feels good. So just breathing here, breathing into that right hip. Keep relaxing that left hip down. So as well as the stretch in the right hip, we're really focusing on releasing and melting the left hip as well. Breathing in into where you feel the tension and the tightness and creating a little bit of space there. And then as you exhale, just melting into the space that you've made. And as you've been there a few breaths, you may notice your body adjusts. It's like, oh, I need to move my head. Feel that I've kind of moved a little bit from there. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can tuck the back toes, lift the knee, wiggle the leg up just a smidgen away, and then release the leg back down. So engaging your banders, we're gently going to come out of this, just popping the hands either side of the head, coming all the way up. Great. Popping the hands back underneath those shoulders. And now we're going to roll onto this right hip. Okay. Bring that left leg all the way round. So the left leg is either coming to the inside of the knee, or it can wrap to the outside, whichever feels more comfortable. Just rearrange your pelvis, come up onto the knuckles for a twist. So right hand around the knee, left behind for support, lengthening into the crown. Tuck the chin, feel the length through the whole of the spine, and then navel hugging back, twisting. Stay there, breathe into the kidneys. Exhale, navel hugging back. Other side, stretching up, lengthening, navel hugging back as you come into the twist. Stay in the twist, and with the navel hugged back, breathe into your kidneys. Exhale. We'll do that again, breathing in. Exhale. Good. So from here, we're simply going to unfold ourselves, take that left leg all the way back, come back into the first stage of pigeon where we're quite forward, and then slide and stretch and take that right leg all the way up. Good. Straight onto the other side. Left leg coming up, bend the knee, flex the foot, piddle up the lamppost. And then from here, bring that left knee to the left hand. Left foot is at a diagonal and it's in line with the right hand. So I'll just show you how that is. And it's different for each body. So I've got quite a deep angle here. You know, I've seen some people in class with this front shin almost at a right angle, parallel to the short edge of the mat. So it's really a lot to do with the angle of the bone here in your hip joint. It's got nothing to do with the knee. The knee is just flexing. So depending on what's going on in the hip, how tight you are, all of those things, it's going to affect where the position of that foot goes. And then just getting yourself into balance, having a little check, coming down onto your forearms, checking the position of your hips, where, when you can see it feels balanced, check in, notice how that feels, and then adjust, pop your padding there and come down. And again, you may wish to use a block for your head or use your hands just for these first few breaths, and then melt down and pop the head a little lower towards the ground. So the padding just goes under the hip so you can feel really supported by it. Breathing in. Breathing out. If this padding isn't high enough for your hip, double it so it is. Double it so you've got that sense of the right hip being supported by something rather than hovering above something. And really tuck it into the body. Don't have it just to the outside on that right side. Really pop that cushion, that blanket over the left foot so it's really there where that hip bone is on that right side. And if you've been in position for a while and you'd like to go deeper, just remembering you can tuck the back toe, lift the knee, wiggle the foot just maybe an inch further away and release the leg back down. Breathing into the tightness on this side. And again, this side may feel very different. Keep relaxing the left hip, the right hip. Relaxing the whole of that right leg, you know, just really inviting the psoas, the lower part of the psoas that connects in through into the pelvis and the hip, just to really soften. And then engaging bandha, and we're just going to bring the hands either side of the head, slowly come up, pop them back underneath the shoulders, roll onto that left hip, just pop the blanket or the cushion to the side and bring that right leg in. And again, it may well be the right leg's to the inside of the knee, or you can go a little deeper and pop it to the outside and just rearrange yourself so you feel balanced across the hips. Left hand on the knee, other behind for support, lengthen up into the crown. So remembering, as we come into the twist, we're going to breathe into the kidneys. So first off, navel hugs back as we turn to look around to the right. Stay there, breathe into your kidneys. Exhale, really draw into the center. Keep looking around to the right. Breathe into the kidneys again. Exhale. Inhale, changing sides. So you can bring the hand to the inside of the knee, hold on to the inner ankle, remembering we've got our 3 yin intersection, 3 finger widths up from the inner ankle bone. So you might be canny and hold on to that, or press into that with the right, and then lengthen up into the crown on the inhale, navel hugging back as you come into the twist. Stay there, breathe into the kidneys. Exhale. Inhale, breathe into the kidneys, lengthen into the spine. Exhale, good. And then releasing that, taking the leg all the way back and round. And then stretching and taking that left leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Back into downward dog, pop the knees down into a nice well-deserved up dog, and then hinging back into child's pose. And you can either rest in child's pose or move through in moon flow. Do what feels good for you. Just a couple of moon flow or a couple of nice long breaths into the spine. And so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to finish our more yin type practice with frog. And there's a couple of ways that you can come into frog. Essentially with frog, it's like gecko, but both knees are out at hip height. So I'll show you, I'll just kind of see what's going to be helpful position-wise on the camera. That's not helpful at all. I'm going to show you this way. Okay, so in fact, I'll show you full on. So if I'm coming into frog, it's not this. Can you see how forward my bum is of my knees? I don't know if you can see that. It's hips, knees in line with the hips, okay? So when you come down into that, it's like, ooh, crikey, Mikey. So it's really useful to have some support underneath here. So I'm just going to come back onto my mat. Now, depending, what the floor surface is like, you may need to have a bit of padding underneath those inner knees if you're on a hard surface, okay? So you maybe have a couple of folded towels, something like that, or blankets under the inner knees to start with. So if they're on a hard surface, they feel comfortable and padded. I don't have that issue. I've got plenty of padding here. So I'm just going to focus on that support that I need for my torso as I'm stretching into those inner thighs. Option 1 is a bolster. So check when you're going out. In fact, I'm going to have to come away from the wall, need a bit more space, that the knees are in line with your hips. Okay. And then you can come down onto your bolster. Now, a bolster might be, yeah, that's fine. Or it might be, I still don't feel like I'm fully relaxed, in which case you may just need a bit of extra height onto it. So get yourself, an extra pillow, pop it down. Oh, that feels better. Nice, okay? If you don't have a bolster that's supportive enough and you just feel that you're squashing onto pillows and there's no substance there, you can use a mix of blocks and pillows or just blocks. So it may be a block and a pillow. It's going to be quite a deep one, this one. Not much support there. Okay, so just spending a bit of time getting yourself sorted, making sure those knees are in line with your hips. I'm going to come round and have a little look as best I can on the cameras. So bring your knees up a little bit more if you want, Honor. Bring your knees up a little bit more. Well, actually, Geraldine, does that feel kind of a good deep stretch for you, Geraldine? I can see thumbs up or thumbs. Yeah, fine. Good. Yeah. So Sarah, is that feeling like a good deep stretch in the inner thighs for you? Yeah, good. Because the knees want to be out to the side like a frog, like this. If you look, the legs are doing that, either side. And this is, ignore my head, this is what the legs are doing, ideally. Wants to feel like a good stretch. Thanks, Ali, for doing that. That's good. That's looking great, Honor, lovely. So breathing with that. It's quite an intense stretch. We haven't, I mean, the gecko is quite hard to get that deep stretch with one leg. As soon as you do both, you're like, oh, yes, I get that. Or I get it, I don't like it, but I get it. So we're just going to make sure it feels okay and breathable. Don't want to go so much that you have to grit your jaw. So just opening all of the connective tissue in the inner thighs, just melting down. If after a few breaths you feel like, oh, I've kind of lost the intensity, it's not feeling a deep stretch, it's feeling okay, you can gently move your hips just down, just half an inch, just a centimeter. And sometimes you go, oh yeah, no, that's it again. And so, you know, a lot of these yin stretches, we're working with the connective tissue, we're not stretching the muscles so much. And so it wants to feel like, you know, maybe 65%, 70% up at the edge of your stretch, not in a way that's uncomfortable, that you have to grit your jaw, but just in a way that feels, you know, breathable, but you're getting a good stretch. So just a couple more breaths here. Relaxing the whole of the face and the jaw. So from here, to come out of frog, you're going to choose a side and just gently bring the hands down onto the mat to lift the weight up a little bit off the knees so that you can wiggle and lengthen one leg completely away behind you, okay? Straighten that leg behind you and then do the same with the other side. Wiggle and straighten both legs behind you, okay? And then from here, lift yourself up off your supports and we'll just ease into a little moon flow just to ease that off, nice and slow and steady. Just a few flows forward and back. Coming to rest in child's pose. And then from child's pose, just coming straight onto your back. Hugging the knees, rocking from side to side with the knees. Allow the whole of the spine to gently rock. Head to join in. Placing a hand on each knee and just rolling the knees around in a slow, mindful circle, a couple of ways one way, a couple of ways back the other way. So again, the option, we did this last week, you can do either staying here, just rolling around the lower back if that feels what you need, especially after frog. We're going to come into a twist after this. But if you'd like to join me, you can come into some spinal rolling. So this is quite fun. You can take hold of the behind the knees with the hands, tuck the chin, and just roll up and down. When you come forward, you can allow the legs to cross if you wish, or just, you know, not come forward enough that you're just balanced. You don't want to come forward and hit the feet off the mat. It's either, let me move this out of the way, you're either bringing your legs down into kind of cross-legged, and you might bring the hands down, roll back, and then the next time you come, change legs. Or you're just going to stop yourself using your core, you know, balancing before those legs hit the mat, you choose. So just a little bit of this is really good, not only for the spine, also for the central nervous system, the immune system. It's really good helping lymphatic drainage, things like that. So we're just going to finish that off and then find our way back onto our backs once again to come into twisted vine. So lying flat on your back, you're going to take the left leg and just cross it over the right and let it be really floppy. Okay, move those hips a few inches to the left and then allow the knees to come down so you can, you know, maybe hold the knees with the hand. If you wish to come into full twisted vine, you simply tuck the left foot around the back of the right calf. Bring those legs over to this right side. Turn the gaze along to the left, extend that left arm out, or it could be, if you're short of foot, left elbow. And just stay in this posture and breathe. And then just come back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring the spine back nice and straight. Cross the right leg over. Lift the hips a few inches to the right. If you wish, you can tuck that right toe behind the left calf. Allow the knees to fall over to the left side. Extend that right arm. Turn to look along the right arm. So you're basically feeling that lovely twist across the body. Round that right hip. Wrapping through the lower back, through the front of the torso, over to that right side. Just melting the body into the mat. And then just easing out of that. So if there's any posture you want to do before coming into relaxation, feel free. It could be a rolling back bend. It could be a gentle inversion. It could be a little bit of both. Gentle inversion could be shoulder stand, but if you're on your cycle, to be honest, you know, medically, there's no reason why you couldn't come into a shoulder stand, but energetically, it's all about, you know, letting go. And so what can be easier on the body and a little bit easier is just to take the legs up into the air, cross the ankles, 5 slow breaths one side, cross the ankles again, 5 slow breaths the other side. It's also very nice for stretching out the lower back. Okay. And so from here, just getting yourself ready for a lovely relaxation.
So getting yourself nice and cozy, nice and comfy. Have a little sip of water if you haven't had one for a while. And then coming to rest on your mat, lie down. Just invite the whole body to rest. And so relaxation for the 1st of February. As the weight of your body sinks down into the mat, into the cushions, into the sofa, into the bed. You can choose wherever it is that you'd like to relax. Just inviting yourself into a lovely, comfy, cozy wee spot. And I'd like you to imagine that you can breathe in and out from your heart. And as you're laid there, there's a beautiful pink light, warmth, as if the glowing embers of the heart are pink. And if you can, have the palms of the hands open to the air. Imagining at the heart space in this beautiful pink light, maybe a beautiful pink rose. And bringing into heart the feeling of love. And so imagining or envisaging somebody in front of you that you deeply care for. And through the palms of the hands, you can see in your mind's eye this loving energy enveloping them and filling them up. And just notice the expression on their face. Notice the whole way they hold their body when they are so beloved. Notice how it makes you feel. Maybe a smile spreading on your face as it does on theirs. And then taking the awareness to the crown of the head. And imagining a beautiful golden light shining at the crown of the head. And in that space, a beautiful flower, maybe a white lotus. This beautiful golden light. And it's as if this golden light at the crown can fill us up, as if we're an open vessel, And this wonderful golden light of love and joy and connection can fill us up like warm honey. We can share this with the person in front, the person we can see in our mind's eye. Imagining them being bathed in this golden light, so beautiful and magical. May all of their worries melt away. May they be filled with joy and happiness. May they be filled with hope and a sense of their own power. And then just placing the hands on the lap, palms open, thanking that person for sharing practice. And just now taking the awareness to the glowing light, the golden light at the crown of the head, and imagining a few inches above a beautiful golden flame. And this golden flame is a connection with the divine. This golden flame is all that is good, all that is inspiring, all that is truly creative, wonderful. And allow yourself to step into this golden light. See how everything is immersed within it. You may wish to imagine everything, not only yourself, lying in relaxation, being bathed in this golden light, everything in the room, everything in your home, all of the people in the street, all of the people in your neighborhood, all of the living things in the local parks, everything, just bit by bit spread the radar beam of your awareness outwards so that everybody in the whole of the county, all of the living creatures, all of the blades of grass, all of the leaves on the trees, everything is bathed in this golden light, is in and made of this golden light. The whole of the country, the whole of the earth. Just feeling the warmth, noticing how the energy of this light feels. And then let go. Allow yourself to fully immerse in this beautiful radiance and let go. Connection, oneness, togetherness. And then, without opening your eyes, just bring yourself back in through the crown of the head, And connecting with the light at the crown of the head and the light in the heart, that beautiful pink light of the heart, gently moving fingers and toes, not opening the eyes. And we're going to share the power of that divine connection with the person that we truly love. So bringing that person back into mind, opening the palms towards them, outstretched, or just open to the sky. And just allowing them to bathe and be filled with this beautiful golden light. May joy and happiness fill their days. May hope awaken in them a sense of possibility, capability, and power. May fun bring a twinkle to their eyes. And each day be a dance of love. And spreading that same light and love over all of the people you love. And over all of the people in your neighborhood, in the street, your neighbors, the neighborhood, spreading outwards. If you live in a village, the whole of your village. And including people that perhaps aren't easy for whatever reason, including everyone. And extending that to everything, every living being, to the whole of the county, the whole of the country, the whole of the continent, the whole of the earth. Love. 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 And then just bringing the awareness back into the heart, connecting with the glowing embers of the heart. Connecting with the whole body. And just staying there. And if you wish, you can join in chanting Om, or just let the mantra soothe and bathe you. Breathing in. Starting to move fingers and toes, wiggle through all of the hands, the feet, the ankles, and taking the arms overhead, stretching through the body if you're lying on your back. If you're lying on your side, that may feel comfy too, whatever feels good. And then end up by hugging the knees and rocking from side to side. This practice of relaxation inspired by the month of February and loving kindness is now over. The practice is now complete. Thank you very much for listening.